What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a chat about what's going on with EB-02. EB-02's been out for a little while now. And the thing is, I remember what happened with EB-01. For those that may have forgotten what happened with EB-01, it wasn't that ridiculous, but it was an extra booster set that had a smaller print run than your average set. At least that's what it felt like. I couldn't tell you what was actually printed, but it felt like it had a smaller print run. And it ran out. And other than Romance Dawn, it was the first set to actually sell out to the point where you cannot find it anywhere. And prices started ballooning. So I figured rather than kind of wait for that to just happen again here, maybe we go and have a look at exactly what is happening, because already the other day we were starting to see that some of the cards in this set were getting just a little bit silly. And let's start off with the silliest of all of those cards, because of course the secret rare in this set is Luffy, and oh my word, is it playable. Now this is just a normal secret rare. Secret rare is expensive, don't get me wrong, but it is just a normal secret rare. Well, the good news is, since release, this is going quite nicely. Started off as like a $100 card on pre-sale, and a bunch of them did sell at that. Then it kind of settled in at about an $80 card, dropped down to 60, back up to 90, and now it's down to 40. And here is the wonderful news about regular secret rare Luffy from this set. It's getting reprinted in Premium Booster 02. That was one of the fun things that we found out about the other day. There are not many EB-02 cards that are actually being reprinted in Premium Booster 02. In fact, there is actually exactly one card which is being reprinted from EB-02 in Premium Booster 02. Exactly one card. It's this regular Luffy. Thing is, this was the biggest issue. Now, when we talk about biggest issue, what we mean is card that people actually need to play being expensive and knocking the price of decks up significantly. Big issue. The alternate arts, we just turn around and we go, well, just play the regular art then, all right? Just play the regular art. But if the regular art is the one that's being expensive, that turns into a little bit of an issue. We don't like it. Not only was the price already falling, but now we've got this reprint in Premium Booster 02, and basically this card, which honestly could have ended up being a real problem, I think we've kind of fixed it before it became a real problem. And that is fantastic. What other regular cards could have been a problem in this set? None really. Like, there's nothing else in the set in terms of regular which is getting ridiculous. Sanji and Pudding is obviously not the cheapest card out there, sitting there at about $15, but from an absurd pre-sale of like $60, which people were paying, it's now down to like a just under $15 card. No, I don't like paying $15 for a super rare. I'm going to go ahead and guess that a bunch of you probably don't like paying $15 for a super rare either, but the reality of this situation is, we're fine. It'll be alright. So the point I'm making here is, problem cards, regular art cards which are too expensive, that is a problem which has been largely fixed. But EB-02 is shaping up to be a set which is particularly good for collectors. I mean, take the only alternate art in the set, the only alternate leader, I should say, in the set. The only alternate leader is Luffy, because it's the only leader in the set. Yeah, this card is becoming ridiculous. It's currently sitting there as like a $300 card, which is absurd for any alternate art leader. Now, I'm showing you the kind of 3-month graph from release, although it's not actually been 3 months, it's been 2 and a bit, but still. And, you know, it's been as high as $385, so sitting there at $300, you look at it and you go, well, you know what? That's not too bad now, is it? I think we can live with that. Yes. Yes, it is that bad, ladies and gentlemen. It is that bad. Because, you know, take OP11, for instance, a Fist of Divine Speed. Anyone remember what the number one alt art leader in that set is? It's Nami, a $50 card. This is 6 times the price of Nami. So yeah, it's gone from 385 down to 300, and we can look at that and go, well, you know what? That's a decent little drop. Go team. No. It is absurdly expensive. Second biggest leader in that set, by the way, if anybody's wondering, Luffy at $35. And remember, the Luffy is absurdly playable. So, yeah. It might have come down, but let's not get too excited about that. This is still an absolutely absurd card. What about the manga? Because in Japan, the manga wasn't that bad. Yeah, it's pretty sizable over here. Started life at about $11.50, went down to just over $1,000, and it's now floating around $1,060-ish. As always with the manga rares, you got to bear in mind, we don't have that many sales, so the data is always a little bit off perfect here, which is fine. We're making do with what we have, but the point is, if you looked at Japan's EB-02, you might have been forgiven for going, well, okay, you know what? It's not going to be the biggest, and that's okay. No, that is not where we are now. It is becoming a pretty big manga rare. So we've got a pretty big manga rare. We've got an absurd alternate art leader. What else do we have here? Well, this might be a decent time in the video to remind you that we don't have special rares in EB-02. But what we do have in EB-02 is the gold foil leaders. And the gold foil leaders are a pretty big deal. A pretty big deal indeed. Now, there's two that really shine above the rest, one of which is Boa Hancock. It's about a $375 card. Now, again, the number of sales here is quite low, because these are very rare, and there's quite a lot of them. You add that together, and, you know, each of these leaders is coming out many boxes, and then you've got to see the ones that actually get out to be sold, and we don't have that much data. But Boa Hancock, popular character, has been good and playable in the past, not really that good nowadays, but this is one where the character is going to carry it, and although it seems like it has actually come down quite a lot, let's not hide the fact that it's still $375. Now, the other one which is very high is Vegapunk, and Vegapunk looks too high, because Vegapunk is not that popular a character, and Vegapunk is not that good a leader, but you'll notice pretty much as soon as it came out, there was a sharp spike upwards, and then it stayed there. Hasn't really gone up or down since, but there was a sharp spike upwards. And the reason here is super simple. It's got a misprint. It was printed with the words all a bit goofed up. And what that's done is it's made people hold on to it because, well, people like misprints. And if there is another run of EB-02 in the future, another substantial run, we never know if there's going to be or not, that's up to Bandai, but if there is a substantial run of EB-02 in the future, one would imagine, again, no guarantee, but it's a fair presumption, they're actually going to fix this. Which means that even if the other cards in EB-02, even stuff like the gold foil Boa Hancock, even if cards like that get less rare because there's a new run of the set, that's not going to do anything to the Vegapunk value, which makes people really want the Vegapunk. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty big deal, I think, when it all comes down to it. So this one, it does look too high, but there is actually a very good explanation for it. And I know the rest of the foil leaders are all, you know, they're all pretty high, put it that way. You know, one of the ones I want the most is Carrot. I think I'm one of the only people that wants it, but it's a $130 card and it's gone up since release. All of these cards are very, very high. I love that Bandai fixed the playability issue, because early on in EB-02 it was looking like some decks were going to be too expensive to make. And I'm not saying all the decks are super duper cheap right now. I'm saying it could have turned into a real serious problem, and they headed that off at the pass. We could have ended up with somewhere in the region of $100 secret rare, which was a staple in one of the several of the best decks around. That would have been a bad thing. Where are we in terms of other cards? Not your foil leaders, your manga rare, your alt art leaders, etc. What about the rest of the set? It's not too bad, honestly. It's not too bad at all. Alternate art Nani is the biggest alternate art that isn't a secret rare. And this one is sitting there at like just over $50, having gone down from a pre-sale of 90 and a post-release high of 75. The pre-sales are always absurd, but even post-release, you look at the post-release high, $75, it's come down fairly significantly since then. Part of me wants to be sad about this because I pulled this in my box, and another part of me is just like, I was never going to sell that card, was I? Like, this, it's in my binder. It's not leaving my binder. I love this card. The artwork, very nostalgic for the early days of One Piece, which I wasn't around for, but I've got to experience since. We're good. Obviously, the alternate art of the Luffy Secret Rare is a little bit expensive, but we've talked about how ridiculous that card is. This is the alt art version. Yes, it has come down from the post-release high of 140 down to 75, but I want to remind you all that an alternate art Secret Rare at $75 is still very high. So what can we draw in terms of conclusions from EB-02? Well, it goes something like this. In terms of playability, we're actually doing okay because the card that looked like it could be a problem is coming down and has been reprinted. Yay. The foil leaders remain very expensive and probably always will because the pull rates are very low. The manga rare and alt art leader in this set, especially the alt art leader, are a very big deal. Prices are huge, and even though the prices are coming down for almost everything, they are pretty big. But at least the alternate arts, the regular alternate arts, are not that bad. This is a set that is very top heavy because people are going after the alt art leader, the manga, the foil leaders. That's what we're really going for. And there's a whole bunch of alternate arts which are, $10 or less. There's a bunch of super rares here which are in the kind of $2 to $3 range. But at the top end of the set, things are high, and what that's going to mean is sealed product, your booster boxes, etc., probably always going to be a bit ridiculous for this set. There's too many good hits in the set, and that's why EB-02 is probably, and I cannot guarantee, this is just my opinion, it is probably always going to end up being a slightly ridiculous set that sells out quite a lot because it's got several high-end things in it. But I've told you all about this now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this set, tell me what you've pulled, tell me what you're after, go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWarsity. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.